His name is Bonne, Matthieu Bonne.
Matthieu Bonne, world record holder, 6 days running, 1,046 kilometers. Amazing.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, that was, I mean, this is the golden month of 6-day running, a second world record in just a week's time. And it was really, really amazing to follow. To start with, Yiannis Kouros had this record since 2005. Why did you want to break this particular record?
Well, I have 2 world records in swimming and in cycling, and I wanted the third one in running. So yeah, it would be amazing if I can say that I'm world record holder in 3 different sports. So that was my ambition. And I'm an endurance athlete, and my strong points are long distances, very far. So yeah, in running there are different kinds of distances and disciplines. You have the 24 hours, the 72, the 48, the 6 days, the 10 days. And I think I had a shot at the 6 days. So I started training in the beginning of the year. And then in March, I did an attempt on the 6 days in Belgium. But I had to stop after almost 5 days. So I ran 793 kilometers in 111 hours. But I had to stop because I had some medical issues. But I wanted to try again because I knew I could do it. And I started training again when I got out of the hospital. And now we achieved it. So
Yeah, you did for sure. And the attempt in March, that was kind of set up for you to be able to break the world record. This time, it was part of the GOMU World Championships with 110 other participants on the same course. How was it different, and how was it to be part of something bigger when you tried to reach your own world record?
yeah, it was very nice to be in a race because I'm someone who, yeah, if I do a world record or something, it's usually on my own, not in a race. So it was something new for me. But yeah, the atmosphere here, yeah, the celerity during the race, between the runners, and the connection between all the teams was just amazing. I really loved it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
because
everybody is there.
yeah, sorry.
Everybody is there for their own reasons. So yeah, it's just nice to be there and to be interacting with people with the same interests. And yeah, it's nice. It's very cool.
Yeah, how much did you actually know about ultra running before? Because it sounds so simple. Okay, I'm very good at endurance, and I've been swimming, I've been cycling, but to run for 6 days on the same course, 898.88 meters round and
Yeah.
round, that's something totally different. And you just come from almost nowhere. Well, you're from Belgium, but Yiannis Kouros, he was the GOAT for 20 years when he broke that record. And how is it possible for you to achieve that?
Yeah, I once did Marathon des Sables, so of course you cannot compare it to what I did now. But 5 years ago, I did the Marathon des Sables, and I noticed that I was strong in long races. So yeah, I also do triathlon, so I have my base from there. Um, I once did 8 triathlons on 8 different Canary Islands in 8 days. So yeah, my endurance is there, and I can also be comfortable with very little sleep. And for world records like this, it's important to be
Yeah.
able to cope with it.
And of course, one of the things that also made you stand out very much was your strategy. Someone looked at this chart and he said, "Oh, how can a chart make me cry?" Because every 3 hours you took a 10-minute break. Every 24 hours you took a 3-hour break to sleep, and it was like that for the almost the entire duration of the race. How did you come up with this strategy, and how were you able to execute it in the way you wanted?
Well, I have a very good team. So I have like my stepfather usually creates such plans, like the pacing plan. We had it already before the race, so it's just a matter of following the plan, and yeah, we did just that, and it's amazing to see that we actually did the pacing plan like we wanted to. I believe our ambition was to run 1,050 kilometers. So yeah, we are 1,046. So that's almost perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost perfect, and it's very different to what Yiannis Kouros did. You were behind his curve all the time. How
Yeah.
did you decide about this particular sleeping and resting strategy? Because to me, who has followed many 6-day races now, this feels like it's a very unique strategy.
Yes, of course, and I cannot all give my secrets away, of course. But I don't believe you should start very quickly. Like when you start too fast, you're gonna pay it off at the end. You're gonna crash. So you have to find a pace that's a little bit comfortable, but you cannot start too slow either. So you have to find the right balance. Because if you start too slow, yeah, it's not good also. And you definitely have to work with the front loading phase also. That's important. Yeah.
Were you nervous yourself at any point that you will not be able to succeed with your ambition? I mean, you ran with bib number 1038. You ran with this shirt the whole time. You made it very clear what your ambition was. Were you afraid that you would not be able to reach your goal?
Um. Of course, there is doubts in my mind sometimes. Especially when you get tired, your thoughts become more dark. Everything just blurries a bit, and you start questioning yourself. And then it's important that you have a good team around you. So yeah, and you can trust them, and it's definitely needed. Without them, it's impossible. Um,
Yeah, it was like
and
a
just keep.
Formula One team almost, where every person had its own task.
Yes, yes, yes. It was exactly like that. Yeah, everybody had their job, and everybody helped each other when they need it. And yeah, I'm so proud of my team. Yes.
And 1,046 kilometers, that you reached that because of what the world record was before, and you made your strategy to break that record. If that record was, say, let's say 1060 or 1070, do you still think that you would be able to reach it, or how good is this world record actually?
Um, to be honest, I don't think there is much room to to get it much higher. Like Kuros set the bar so high. So I think it's impossible to say that you can go 50 kilometers more. Yeah, we are already very happy that we could. Um, yeah, we could put 10 kilometers on it. So we are now 10 kilometers in front of Kuros, and that's a lot. So that's a lot.
And still, it was very hot during most of the days. Then there came one day with a lot of rain, and from what I understand, you were not even prepared for that much rain during so many hours. How did you cope with the heat, and how did you cope with the rain?
Yeah, we were prepared for hot temperatures. So I had special clothing to keep me to keep me not so exposed from the sun. I also had the headband with the crystal. It's really nice. And I would also take my breaks on the hottest hours of the day. And then the rain, yeah. For me, it was no problem. I saw it as an extra challenge, and I think I needed it at that point in the race, because I was coming off a difficult night, very difficult night, and for me it was like, okay, you want to make it harder? Okay, let's do it. And yeah, I took it on, and we went the distance, and we went through our plan, and we kept following it. So
Yeah, it sounds like you really have a lot of mental toughness. But did you experience any physical issues during the race?
yeah, my mental toughness is my strongest point, of course. I in the past, I also did big challenges, like swimming for 61 hours nonstop at sea. So yeah, my mental is very good, but you have to be physical capable of it. So I have to train a lot for it, and have a good team who looks after me. And during the race, of course, you get little pains here and there, especially when you start to reach the 1000K mark. um, so yeah, I had a good physiotherapist with me, and every time I got a break, he would work on me and make sure that I could continue.
Yeah, it's again, it sounds quite easy, but I'm sure there's a lot of planning, a lot of mental toughness, and of course, so much training for this particular event. And let us. I know you're very tired now. This is the day after, 24 hours or something after the race, and it takes a long time to recover from something like this. But let us just hear a bit about Matthieu Bonne and who he is. Who is this now new miracle boy of multi-day running? I know you're a professional ultra endurance athlete, and you have these many records that you have mentioned, some of them already. But why are you doing what you are doing? And tell us a bit about what you already did before coming here.
Okay. As a child, I always had too much energy, so I have ADHD, which was for me a very big issue. Going to school was very hard for me. I could never concentrate myself. Learning was very difficult. I didn't find my interests in school. So yeah, I was just a little annoying kid who had too much energy, and yeah, sports was my only thing to release that. And I tried a lot of sports, athletics, judo, horse riding, and then my favorite was basketball. So I played basketball for around 10 years. It was my big love, my big passion. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. That was my first big dream. Um, but I was a little guy, so I'm only I'm very short. So to be a professional basketball player was not so easy to achieve. But yeah, I still believed I could do it. But some things happened in my life at that point, and I lost all motivation for playing basketball. I started doing other things. I quit basketball, and then I found myself in I like to say a 2-year search for myself. I didn't know what to do with my life. I had no visions for the future. I was 20 years old. Looking to do what's next. And then one time I went to Indonesia. So that was my first big trip to the outside of Europe. And there was a volcano, the Mount Rinjani. And yeah, I didn't train for it. I went there with no expectations, no experience, no nothing. So I was really yeah, I was really looking for myself, looking for answers, and I climbed the mountain. It was 3,700 meters, and yeah, I was in shock. I liked it, the suffering from the climbing, the views around me, the feeling of achieving something extraordinary was so nice. And I believe that was the moment that I found my passion for endurance sports and nature. And when I came home from that trip, I went to Japan and did the Fuji there, the Mount Fuji. So that was another mountain that I climbed. So mountain climbing was a big love for me. And then it became clear that I wanted to continue, and I trained to climb the Mont Blanc. So it's the highest mountain in the Alps, and so we did that also. And then I wanted to test myself in other sports. So I was like, I'm not a runner, so I'm gonna try to run a marathon, then Marathon des Sables. So I'm the second youngest to ever finish the Marathon des Sables. It was really nice in the Sahara. And after finishing the Marathon des Sables, I was like, okay, I want to test myself in triathlon. So 5 months later, I went to Australia to do the Ironman there. But instead, I did a full distance from the first time. So I didn't do a half or a little triathlon. I just did the full distance the first time. So usually I take a few steps further than someone else. And then I wanted to swim. So I believe I could make myself a swimmer too. And then I swam the English Channel. So from England to France, it's 32 kilometers. So I did that also. I made the finish of it. And then the year after, I swam the entire length of the Belgian coastline. It was never done before because it was very difficult with the tides and with the temperature. And I became the first person ever to do it. So that was also a big achievement. And then after the Belgian coastline, I got in touch with Luc van Lierde. So Luc van Lierde is a 2-time Ironman world champion. And he had a challenge for me. There was a Spanish guy who tried to do 8 full distance triathlons on the 8 Canary Islands, but he didn't exceed. So my coach was like, yeah, why don't you try this? And we go for it. So we went to the Canary Islands, and we also made a finish of it. And I became the first person to do so. And after the 8 islands, I didn't want to stop, of course, because everything I did, I finished it, and I could go further and further and further. And then I did the world record of cycling, so 3,619 kilometers in 7 days. So the longest distance in 7 days in Arizona. We went there. And then I did the longest distance nonstop at sea, so 131 kilometers in almost 61 hours. And then, of course, I wanted to do something in running, because running was the only thing that was missing on my achievements list. And I would my ambition was to do 3 world records in 3 different kind of sports. And then I was looking what I could do in running. And then of course I came with the 6 days and then we tried it in March in Belgium. Because of the bad weather I had to stop. And then now we did the impossible. So that's a little bit of who I am.
Yeah, that's an amazing journey for sure. And now you have world records in cycling, swimming, and running. Will you continue with ultra running to beat Yiannis Kouros' only remaining great record at 48 hours? Or will you do other things now, or just relax and live like a normal person?
I will never live like another person because this is my life. This is my path. This is the reason I believe I've been put on this earth. And that's something I see around me. That some people don't really follow the paths that they want to, but instead they choose the easy path, and that's I like to see people achieve their full potential. So but for me, I don't know what's next actually. I know I could improve in ultra running much more because I just started it, to be honest. I it's a difficult choice, and it's but I also would like to swim again if that's possible next year. But
maybe swim run then?
Yeah, but like you said, I'm thinking about doing the 48 hours of Kouros because I believe I could have a shot. The 24 hours is not for me. It's impossible.
So no world championships or anything like that. You rather want to achieve records rather than compete in the championships?
Yeah, maybe. The 10 days is maybe also something. Kouros has the record also for that. But yeah, maybe the 48 hours. I don't know. I have to think about it.
Yeah, of course. Now you have to just enjoy this world record and recover from that, and hope that you receive the greetings from the entire ultra running community, and that you feel embraced by the ultra family now, because that's
yes.
how we feel, I think.
Yes,
So,
thank you.
Congratulations, Matthieu Bonne, again, and thank you so much for telling your story.
No worries. Thank you so much.